Hey guys and girls, my name is Jordan Pollard. I'm an ISA certified arborist and a full-time contract climber. I've been meaning to do a review of this Audax for quite a long time now. I've had this for nearly a year. I finally find myself with the time and energy to do this review, so let's get into it. The very condensed version is just buy one. They're awesome. You know, if you're like me, you may be gifted with a lot of things, but an attention span is not one of them. So if you're not going to watch the full review, overwhelmingly positive things to say about the recoil Audax. So the first thing that I really want to drive home, especially if you're a newer climber or new to the industry in the general sense, this industry will give you a lot of cumulative injuries. We like to focus on and emphasize the perceived risk of like a catastrophic sudden injury, like a fall from significant height or a struck by, or things like that immediately put you out of commission. But the actual statistical reality of our industry is that a far greater number of the injuries are cumulative. They happen slowly over time and you don't realize how severe they are until they've become so acute that you are in pain, you're debilitated, and you're not able to work to your capacity. So looking after your musculoskeletal system and your digestive system is so incredibly important to your longevity and to your enjoyment of doing what we do. So having a suspender system is really key to that in and of itself, because it allows you to wear your saddle in its intended configuration. Okay, a lot of people will wear it up above the crest of their hips like this, and then they'll cinch the belt down really, really tight. That's very, very harmful to not only to your lumbar spine because you're putting pressure on it, but also to your hip flexors and the muscles on the outside of your legs that stabilize you. That's gonna inhibit your circulation, and it's going to result in what's called an anterior pelvic tilt. So your posture is going to look like this. You're going to get a lot of pain that radiates across the middle of your back and into your scapula. So being able to position all of your hardware comfortably, especially if you're packing a big saw, packing a lot of rigging gear, maybe you're packing like a captain hook or a cabling kit or things like that, being able to shoulder that weight and distribute it evenly across your shoulders is so key to your longevity and your body comfort in this industry. And then to add on to that, if you like to use SRT, which I do, and most people will at least try it, if not incorporate it into their work practice. For me personally, I've seen a lot of guys that will wear a neck tether around their neck. That to me is silly at best and dangerous at worst. Again, you know, that's going to give you issues with the muscles in your neck, your trapezius and your levator scapula and things like that. It's not good for you. A lot of guys will run a positioning lanyard over their shoulder just because of the utility of not having to wear a bra or something around their neck, which I get, but in my view, that's going to, because you're going to be resisting the friction in your ascender with your shoulder like this, that's not allowing your major muscle groups, your shoulders, your pectorals, your abdomen, your hip attachments, your quads, they're not able to fully work in opposition and in tandem. So that's going to give you inefficiencies, you know, with your climb. It's going to slow you down, and in addition to that, it's going to give you some issues with body comfort and pain and things like that. So I feel that the disadvantages of doing it this way far eclipse the advantages. So I will say that having this weight distributed and having a system that is infinitely adjustable, you can do very fine adjustments with these little straps. It will tidy up your ascent immensely, and it'll make getting into SRT far more comfortable because of the ease of clipping into and unclipping from your device. So I love that aspect of it. And I also really love being able to just take small sips of water throughout my climb while I'm waiting for something to be untied or sent back to me or whatever. Rather than force chugging large volumes of water at once, that's really not good for your digestive system. So I find for myself that when I come down from a big climb or a bunch of little climbs at the end of the day, I have significantly more energy and my mood is better because I'm hydrating naturally with small sips throughout the day. So that kind of leads me into the next thing that I'm going to say, and that's really the only negative thing that I have to say about this system as a whole. The bite valve on the recoil Audax is not my favorite. I found it was a little obnoxious. It's very large. It's very susceptible to breaking, and it's difficult to sort of stow it in a way that's not obtrusive. So the length of the hose itself is very easy to adjust. They give you a ton of hose when you first buy this thing, and all you have to do is remove this there's like a little barbed nipple. All you have to do is rotate and pull. It will come out of the hose. You can trim the hose to your preferred length, tape it, and then stick this back in. So I've trimmed mine basically as short as possible just to keep it out of the way of all of my stuff. I also found that trying to drink out of the hose when it's really long, there's a lot of internal friction in the hose and it's just difficult to get a good drink out of the bladder. So if you shorten that hose, it will be helpful in that aspect. One thing I love is that the bite valve, the hose, and the bushing that connects to the bottom of the bladder are all completely interchangeable with Camelback stuff. So if you break this or lose it, or you just don't like the bite valve that it comes with, like I didn't, it's really easy to just order another one from Camelback. You can get it from Amazon. It'll be on your doorstep in like a day or two, which is great. There's different styles of these bite valves. I like this one. There's even a little magnet deal that Camelback makes that you could order presumably if you wanted to. So moving downwards, I love that you can detach this from your saddle in like 3 easy motions without losing any of your adjustments or anything like that. So this is held on by 3 little wire gate clips that have an adjuster built into them. So it's this easy to doff your saddle and keep the bladder if you want to use it for like groundwork type stuff. That's great. I will also say that I love the amount of adjustment that they give you with this setup. I'm 6'2" and 215 pounds, and I'm not even halfway up the adjustment on this thing. So this will fit you if you're 7'2" and 400 pounds. This is really great in that aspect. That's where a lot of the equipment that's common to our industry tends to fall short, is that it doesn't fit large people because there's this flawed perception that big guys don't climb trees. That is very far from the truth. So in terms of actually affixing this to your saddle, what they give you is, this is what the complete assembly looks like. So you get 3 of these, one for either side in the front and one for the back. So basically this is just a strap with a stitched eye, and then this adjusts in length. So you can either clip this to like an accessory carabiner or something like that. You're gonna find that most saddles have some way to incorporate a suspender into them. The Tree Rex especially has tons of great little loops all over the place to attach whatever. Some saddles don't have that. You may have to improvise a little bit, but fortunately you have a ton of adjustment with this. And you know, if you really wanted to, you could actually cut and hand stitch this nylon. It's not an insurmountable obstacle. That was, I will say, the one thing that prevented me from buying this as soon as it hit the market was I just didn't really understand how it actually attached to the saddle, or if it was going to be able to be attached to my saddle, if it was going to work for me. If I had a little more clarity on that, I would have bought this a long time ago. yeah, this is really such a significant benefit for somebody that's doing a lot of climbing, such as myself. The last thing that I will say about this is, so on the back here, you have this molly, which is like a modular attachment system for different pouches, first aid kits, things like that. It's actually like a military hardware that has transferred very well over into civilian use. So you could get like a dump pouch for a first aid kit or whatever and keep it on there, which is awesome. I haven't done that yet because I'm a little apprehensive about this pack is very streamlined, and I don't really want something that's going to be bulky or that's going to protrude. That may prevent me from traversing tight tree unions or through dense foliage or things like that. So I've elected to keep my first aid kit, in the back right here. Is it a little obtrusive? Yes, but less so. So yeah, that's the Recoil Audax. These guys really nailed it. I cannot say enough good things about this thing. Yeah, you guys should really go out and buy one. These are designed by a full-time climbing arborist for the full-time climbing arborist. So yeah, thanks for your time.